Hey everyone, T Rob here with the BizPulse. Exciting. I know I say it every show, but I'm really excited. We have just a powerful lady that um, is going to educate us on loyalty, which, in my opinion, is one of the forgotten things in the world, really, for businesses that are trying to grow, trying to keep clients. So we're going to talk to her about her business Antavo, but we're going to also talk to her about her journey because she's had a journey to get to being a co-founder and chief strategy officer. And I always like to for people to tell the journey because we have other people that are trying to strive to get there as well. So I want to go ahead and bring her in, and we'll talk to her and learn all about what's going on. Hello there.
Hello. Hi there, T-Rob. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, well, thank you for coming on. I'm excited to interview you. I'm really excited just to learn, about your journey because I was reading stuff on you, and it's pretty amazing where you're at right now. And you totally changed careers and everything, right? So if you could tell the audience just who you are and what your journey's been like.
Yeah. So I'm one of the co-founders and chief strategy officer at Antavo, which is a technology provider for loyalty programs. So it's a piece of tech to run loyalty programs, so they don't look that dull, that what's been around for 100 years, but it's more innovative. It goes beyond rewarding purchases. And we are like a team of 100 with customers like BMW or KFC. But when we started this 10 years ago, it was quite different. We were just 4 co-founders in London, founding this company with a big vision that we want to build a software company and be successful and then have a lot of customers and conquer the world like in 2 years or so. And of course, everything takes longer than what you would expect. Before that, I was into radio. I was a radio journalist. I had my own shows. And so it was so exciting now to listen to your intro. I had the chills reminding me, when I had my own show and my own microphone, the fancy microphone that now you have, not these.
Yeah.
So it is indeed a change. So from media, I went to co-founding a company.
Yeah, I mean and you're very modest because I was reading that you're, one of the top 100. What did it say here? Forbes recognized you as one of the top 100 females in technology. I mean, that's
in Europe, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean,
That's
congrats to
quite
you.
Thank you. It was a couple of years ago, quite a nice recognition. There are not many female founders in technology, for sure, and maybe even less in Europe than, for example, in North America. So it's definitely great to have received this recognition. And I keep being this female power in technology and cheerleading all other females in technology, really, because technology is not only for men, it's for women too. So creators should be like also from all kinds of genders.
Yeah. I would argue that females are probably better in technology just because typically females are very creative, right? And compared to us males that we're like, hey, let's get this done. Some of us are not that creative. So hats off to you. Just great job. So tell me how where did this company come from? I mean, you're in radio, or you're a journalist, right? Where did this come from?
So my biggest pain with being a journalist was that being a journalist in radio was that my work just literally aired, it went away, and it was done. I worked so hard for like a whole morning or something, it just aired. It was before the podcasts. It was before when things would be put on the internet to be listened to again. So I felt that I can't build on the top of my work because it's just the same work all over again. And I wanted to build something. So when I met my co-founder, who already had a product in mind, we decided to do a different kind of product. And then his longtime employee also joined as a co-founder, and a fourth co-founder joined. And then we realized that now we are building a company and looking for investors. And Seed Camp invested in our company, which is the still the best, I think, seed investment fund in Europe. So it was a very, very nice start. And also it was a great start. It's like similar to Y Combinator in the US. It was a great start because we knew that we were selected as part of this power team who is entitled to be a Seed Camp founder. It was like having this badge, like, okay, now you're smart enough. Now you just need to work hard and figure it out. So it gave us momentum for long, long years to keep up and then keep working on the company, even though we pivoted the product, but not to give up. I know that it's different in every culture, how people would consider failure or how they would start another company. In my culture, I'm Hungarian. I think we are really, really trying to avoid failure.
Yeah.
Can't really do anything with that. And it drove us really to keep going, and also not to start another company, but to keep this company, keep the trust of our investors, our colleagues, and we iterated within this company. We iterated the product itself, because we started with another marketing product back in 2012, and we iterated to the loyalty management platform that we have now in 2016, and we are working on that ever since.
Okay. Wow. So you've been at it for a while. So tell me, I know it's you guys are globally, right? So what is changing in loyalty? Because I know that, the loyalty used to be like, hey, let's go to the coffee shop and get a card, right? But technology is really changing things. Can you tell me what your company is doing in that realm of things?
Yes, and exactly how you described, this is how a loyalty program used to look like. And in many aspects, this is how a loyalty program looks like. And it's okay to look like if you're talking about like a coffee shop on the corner. And yeah, it's based on rewarding purchases, this spend a dollar, earn a point kind of structure. This is how loyalty programs in the past 100 years work, or even 300 years, because there were traces of loyalty programs in the 18th century already.
Wow.
But loyalty programs today can be different because technology is already there. Technology already allows it. So not only purchases can be rewarded, but other things can be rewarded. Like if you refer a friend, or if you leave a comment, or if you tell more about yourself, you share your favorite style or color or brand with the retailer who's asking this, or if you work out or drink water. So these are things that you wouldn't consider as being part of the loyalty program, but this could be, because if it aligns with the value of the company and the values of the customer, this is a great way to reward this healthy lifestyle choices or healthy behavior. Just let me tell you an example. One of our customers in North America is a healthcare app called League, and they reward their users if they drink enough water during the day, and they need this reward and loyalty mechanism for that. And this is how this healthy behavior can be rewarded. Or another example, there is this European mountain wear brand called Bergtite, and they reward if you go out hiking, because Antavo is integrated with Strava, and Strava is able to measure this altitude change. So if you actually climbed that mountain, and
that's really cool.
If you complete these challenges that they have on the weekends, then you can get like special benefits. The special thing about this is that it's not connected to a purchase. It's not even connected to product usage. It's connected to the lifestyle that they believe in, which is the outdoors, the enjoying the fresh air and being in nature. And this is the future of loyalty programs when it connects with customers on the level of their lifestyle and values.
Yeah, no, I love that because I think maybe as a brand, they're connecting with people that maybe fit their brand, right? But they're doing it in a way that like people don't get like, hey, you have to have 10 punches to get this whatever. It's just more of like, hey, go climb a mountain or drink more water. That's both healthy and you get rewarded. Really cool. Really cool. So with that scenario, like Entavo is that custom things you guys do, or is that like already in the system? Like tell me an ideal client for you and how a business would sign up to use you guys.
Yeah. So we are a software as a service company, meaning that we have a product, and this product is configured to the need of the customer each time
Okay.
when there's a new customer. So, for example, KFC in the UK is a customer, and they use the Antavo platform to manage their rewards and then to manage their logic of the loyalty program. We don't do custom development, so we are not an agency. We don't do like loyalty strategy because we're not an agency, like a strategy agency. And in terms of big implementations, we don't do that either. And I really, really like this definition of ours when, we know what we don't do.
Yeah.
Because what we do is only technology. And it's also very specific that we don't do like marketing automation. There's the other kinds of technology that would like sit besides loyalty, like actually delivering the message like an email or a push notification or a WhatsApp message. We don't do that. And we don't do CRM, the customer relationship management. That would be a big database for the customers. So what I really like about our company strategy is that we really know what we don't do in terms of services and technology, and we really, really know what we do. And what we do best. What we want to do best in the world is being a great loyalty program technology vendor.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is like it's not funny, but it's nice to hear that like what you guys do good and don't do, because there's a lot of companies that try to do everything and they're not doing any of it well. So good job on that. I know it's hard because you mentioned earlier it's like it's hard not to just start another company because obviously you're very talented and you probably have a great team around you, but you guys are really focused on this, which is cool. So talk to me about, I mean, you mentioned KFC there. Are you guys working with companies all over the country? I mean, all over the world, right?
It is all over the world. So in terms of our customers, right now more than half of them are in Europe.
Okay.
Around 25% of them are in the APAC region, especially in Australia, New Zealand, and around 20 something percent is in North America, which we consider North America in this respect, Canada and the US, because from Mexico we don't have any customers just yet. And these are the three regions that we are focusing on. Historically, we are very strong in Europe, and this is very useful too in terms of our other geographies too, because Europe is very fragmented in terms of languages, currencies, and our product was built with that in mind from the beginning. And it really helps international loyalty programs wherever they would like to launch it from, because we understand it by nature. Just to tell you an example, if there are multiple currencies involved in a loyalty program, but the owners of the loyalty program will still want this loyalty program to be accessible from wherever, from all different countries, there needs to be some kind of a conversion to be done, and a rounding too, because you don't want to give like a fraction point, like 0.98 points, but you would want to round it up to 1. So it's like a whole bit of logic that needs to happen behind with all these different currencies, point currencies, and languages. It's quite a challenge, but we are great at it because this is how we were built from the beginning.
Yeah. So why, and we've touched on kind of what the company does, but why is it so important for companies to have a loyalty program?
So recently, we've been through a couple of crises, and the second is going on still. This new cost of living crisis that is just happening now after the COVID crisis. And what we could see after COVID and during COVID is that companies were trying to keep their customers close. They used everything in their power to make things digital and reach their customers in a digital way while everyone was sitting at home. That was a big push to digital transformation, actually, and it also helped our company to grow. We tripled our headcount and revenue in 2021. Wow. It was such a busy year. So companies were trying to keep their customers close, and that's happening now too in this cost of living crisis, like all over the world. And this really, really points out how customer loyalty is important. We did a big research at the end of last year. That's the Global Customer Loyalty Report 2023, a big report that we published. We asked people, marketeers, loyalty leaders, CRM leaders, about which are the areas that they plan to invest in. And 2/3 of respondents said that they would like to increase investment in customer retention. And it's only 1/3 who said that they would like to increase investment in customer acquisition. So companies today are really focusing just to have their customers that they already have, just to keep them close, because these are turbulent times these days. There will be a consolidation, but now everyone just realized that how they need to appreciate what they have and get the most out of it. Also, like these membership clubs, customer clubs, this more personal connection with one's customers. This is a thing that will be much more widespread in the coming years. According to Gartner, 1 out of 3 companies without a loyalty program today will have a loyalty program by 2027. So it's a big number. So if you imagine all the companies without a loyalty program today, 1 out of 3 of them will have a loyalty program just in 4 years. I hope that's great for our business. So
yeah,
I hope that they are right.
Well, I mean, I think it's a must for businesses anymore, because retention is a huge thing, and competition's getting stronger. So if you're not taking care of your clients, then they're going on to somebody that is, right? Or I mean, that's the way the business world works. So yeah. So I want to touch, we touched about the company, and you guys are doing amazing things, but I really want to get back on you and talk to you about, when you were recognized by Forbes as one of the top 100 in technology in Europe. How did that happen, and what did that do for your career? Because a lot of people that tune into my show are younger entrepreneurs and business owners. They're just starting. So how did that happen? How do you get on a list like that?
There was an organization in Germany called the 100, which would translate to 100, that collected this list, and they were the ones advising Forbes to like who these 100 should be. It was already a couple of years ago. And how it affected me, like not much. It was a nice tap in the back, but it didn't quite affect our business, I think. It affected my self-esteem, our self-esteem as a company, but it was for the technology world, it was for the startup world, and it is not for the world of the brands and retailers who are out there who would be our customers. So it gave us confidence, it gave me confidence, but I think it's really important to treat these recognitions on their place. It's really not much more than a tap on the back,
Yeah.
because it's just small recognition, but at the end of the day, the real recognition comes from your customers. If you can provide value, if they stay with you for long years, if you can help them to achieve their goals.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's well said. So in today's, like, what's the biggest challenge that you face, like, daily? Like, is there something that, like, every, maybe not daily, but, in your business role, what are you facing and how do you tackle it?
I have so many challenges. It's so hard to pick one. We have in general so many challenges, and I wear many hats. So in terms of being chief strategy officer, I help our marketing team, and I also work very closely with our partnership team. And then I'm also part of the management, the leadership, the board. So it's like many, many teams that I'm a part of. I wear multiple hats. I think in general, as a company, our nice challenge is that it's always a balancing act on how to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So where to invest. So when we invest in like growing the business, and then immediately we have like a couple of more customers who will need to be implemented, then the services team will need to be grown too. And then, okay, the team is large now. We need to grow the other parts of the organization, like the engineering team needs to be larger too, because there are these areas that needs to be fixed. And then now there is that team that needs some more attention. So it's this like making sure that we are focusing our attention to the right teams to make sure that they have the right resources. I think it's quite a challenge, but it's a challenge everywhere at
Right.
every businesses, I would think. What do you think about this?
No, I agree with you. I think you just explained, like, business ownership, and I'm glad you did because, a lot of people think, like, owning a business and running a business is easier than going to a 9 to 5 job. And it's not. It's extremely hard. You never stop working. You wear 1,000 different hats, like you just said. And not that I'm pushing people away from entrepreneurship, or because I think that's actually freedom, being an entrepreneur. But I like how you just explained, like, all the different things in your day that you're having to balance and look at. So that's great for people that are looking, to, like, oh, I want to get to where she's at. With that in mind, let's kind of go into the next segment there. And I always talk about, like, careers in general because, people they're trying to figure out what they want to do still. So, um, how does someone get to where you're at? I know your journey was different and everyone's different, but if someone wanted to be a chief strategy officer, how does that work? How do you get there?
Maybe it's different for me because I'm a co-founder of this company, not only a chief strategy officer. So I can really dictate which is the part of the organization where I want to be, also where I fit best, because there was a time when I helped our customers and our customers team, and I was very bad at it. But I was our best option back then. It was so difficult, for sure. So in terms of how to be a co-founder, well, let me share my story, like my
Okay.
journey about how I got here. So I got here in a way that I started it before. I hope that the coffee machine is not disturbing
No, that's
you
fine.
that much,
That's
right?
fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So this is our kitchen after all, the office kitchen.
no worries.
So I started a company before I could have a normal job. Before I would have ever received a proper paycheck, because I worked these 5 years in radio while I was still a student. So during the week, I was at school. In the afternoons, evenings, and weekends, I was in the radio. I was the person who was there on the holidays, on the bank holidays, Christmas mornings and stuff. So this was not a full-time job. It was a side job for me next to university.
Mm-hmm.
And I already wrote my thesis in the university about the business plan of Antavo. So I started it before I could have started like a proper job. There was no salary that I needed to leave behind because I didn't have any. There
Right.
was no mortgage I needed to leave behind, or there is no mortgage that I needed to pay because I was just still a student. So it's one way to start when you have really nothing to lose, when your needs are so low because you are so young,
Mm-hmm.
because you are a student, you know. Students can live on a bare mattress basically because they
Right.
don't have much needs just yet, and that's power. Ignorance is power. If you don't know what you don't know yet, these fearless young people who usually start revolutions, they are the ones also starting companies. And I was one of them because I didn't know what I did not know. And I'm so grateful for that it happened that way. And I think typically another stage when people start businesses is in their maybe mid or late 30s when they already know their profession. They found a way already how to pay their mortgage because they already have one. They have already a couple of kids. And that's another way to start a business typically. And of course, there are all the ones in between. But this was for me, and I still really, really advocating for people to start as young as they can, because just as you said, entrepreneurship is freedom. I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great advice, because it's funny that you say that, but when you don't know what you don't know, you're driven, right? You don't know what the outcome is. You don't even have a clue, which, from a employer side, I typically would rather hire somebody that doesn't know everything, because, you get a little more passion. You can train them into things. So I love that you said that, because a lot of people that are trying to get somewhere think they need to know everything, right? Or they like, oh, I've got to go to school for 50 years. I've got to know everything about this. But the truth is, going to a university or school, you come out, you really don't know. You still don't know anything, right? It's like, okay, what am I going to do
Yeah.
now? Like, especially in the business world, it like, okay, how do I run a business? So any great advice. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and for the longest time, in the first couple of years, I remember I Googled these things and I was so angry at myself. Like, I should know these things. I went to school for that. But, like, how to write a marketing plan. And then I will Google everything. I will Google everything. And yeah, this is,
Yeah.
this is, when you actually start doing something, I think this is what everyone does. These days, I still do the same, but not only with Google, but also with ChatGPT. It gives me so much better answers these days. So
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, why not use the resources that are there? So everyone does it for sure. Um, so and I always ask people this when they come on, do you have a productivity hack that you use, or maybe a daily routine that you could share with entrepreneurs that might help them?
I tell this to people, especially young people, that my best productivity hack is that I have kids.
Yeah,
And, if you have kids, I don't know, do you have kids?
I do. Yeah,
So
got
maybe
three.
you can relate. We have 3 kids too. So maybe
Yeah.
you can relate to me that if you have kids, then your workday is limited. It means that there is a, there is an amount of time between school drop off and school pickup that you can do your own thing. And that's the only time that you can get it done. So in this time, I'm just crazy effective. My day is scheduled, like it's full, and then I don't have too much time to think, and I quite enjoy that because I don't have too much time on dwell on things. And if I need to, I will schedule time for that. And I really like that I don't work super long hours, but I work in a very intense way, and it's very productive. Have you
Hmm.
found this too with I don't know, with this like limited working hours.
Yeah, yeah. I used to be the kind that would just bounce all over the place, right? Because I got like so many different projects going on. But I learned like if you don't schedule, like and that's really what you're saying is like time management is huge. It's key, right? So everything you need to put on a calendar and follow that calendar, right? So yeah, definitely. There's this little window, and you have to get all this done. So uh, I definitely know you feel your pain there for sure.
It's a pain and it's a blessing at the same time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't trade that for anything. Um, so, you know, what what is the future not only for Antavo but for you? I mean, is there other things that you're wanting to do? Is there like you have this a goal in mind with everything?
So, Antavo is a business I love so much that I could do that forever, pretty much, I think,
Mm-hmm.
which is it's a really nice situation to be in. But also, we know that there is a consolidation on the market, that companies are buying each other. And we also see that Antavo is a great fit to our partners or even competitors. So it's very likely that we will be acquired at one point. And then I also look forward to that time. And as we are venture backed, so there is VC money in our company. There are VCs among our shareholders. They also have the exit in mind as they want to pay their own shareholders. So at one point, we will sell the company and then work on that other company for a while. And after that, I don't know. I will do some gardening, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe have rabbits and chicken.
There you
But
go.
I can do the rabbits and chicken before too. Maybe next year. So
Yeah.
these are the quite vague plans.
That's good. That's enjoy life, right? I mean, it's short and you have to enjoy it for sure. Um, I always ask people like, do you have any books that you recommend for the audience? That's just
Oh
really good.
gosh, I'm not great at books because you know what I read these days? Like no business books. I read romance novels,
Good for you.
and I just really can't think of business and self development after my working hours, which is in a way is a kind of healthy way. I
Yeah.
hope this is how I try to comfort myself for the lack of my business book reading habits. So the most recent book I read was the two Bridgerton books, and I know it's quite funny because it's like pop culture. It's like just a simple romantic book, but I like it because it's a completely different world. And I just didn't read the first, but the second book too. I've become quite a reader in the past couple of weeks. Actually, that's new to me. In the
Oh, really?
past 4 weeks, I read 6 books. It's
Wow.
new. It's so new that I'm amazed. I'm just done with my sixth book, and I'm just looking for like, what else can I read?
Yeah. Well, you might have just explained a hack too, because like, reading stuff, like getting totally out of like resting your brain or changing your mindset from working all day is not a bad thing. So I wouldn't be ashamed of what you're reading for sure. So here's a question. I always do this. Is there a question? Because we're getting to the end of the segment, and I don't want to keep you long, but is there a question you wish I would have asked you?
Mm, mm,
Because you're a journalist, so you've got all this. You're good at this.
you could ask me, like, is there anything that you've done that you would have done differently 10 years ago when you started your company?
Okay, well, I like that. So let's go. Let me hear your answer.
Well, not much, because even though we've made so many mistakes, maybe they were just part of the journey and not mistakes after all. Like, no one really has things figured out. Everyone is just like winging it, kind of.
Right.
And no one has the right answer. Everyone's just trying their best. So even those who look the most confident, and I'm thinking like presidents and big gun writers and stuff, they're just trying their best too. Like it's not rocket science. Everyone's just trying to give their best stuff, but no one really has it figured out. And for me, it gives comfort and it puts weight off my shoulder because people are just doing their best. And this is what we've done 10 years ago. And I know that I would need to do the same things to get to this point where we are now.
Yeah. Great. Thank you for answering your own question. I love that. So where can listeners find you? I'll definitely have all your information in the video description, but is there a better place to connect with you?
Well, I'm very happy to connect with anyone on LinkedIn. I really enjoyed this platform recently. It's a great platform, I think, to have a great conversation and meaningful conversation. I also enjoy it because there are so many useful info and trends there. So maybe besides romantic books, LinkedIn is the platform that I read. And so I would be very happy to connect with people on LinkedIn. And on Antavo.com, there is the platform that we produce if there is someone in the audience who is in need of a loyalty management platform.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. The best of luck to you. I'd love to connect with you down the road or something. When you guys get bought out, I want you to come back on because I want to talk to you about your chickens and rabbits and all that stuff. So.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much for having me in your show.
You're welcome, and take care of yourself. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I don't want to keep you long today. Appreciate your time. You're listening to the BizPulse. Please subscribe, like, share, help me grow the channel. I mean, obviously we're bringing in some incredible people. Hopefully it's helping you with, business, but not just in business, in life in general, that shows you that real people are working, having the same issues as you, and just keep on grinding, keep doing your thing. Because that's really all you can do, right? So take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time on the BizPulse.